I wanted to go over to Mariupol quickly because there's been a lot of news recently out of there, a lot of rumors. And one of the interesting things that came up was the British, well, there was a British Marine, Aiden, who was captured. He's now been paraded, photos of him in Donetsk, occupied part of Donetsk, the DHR or whatever they call it. And there were some Marines that did surrender. The Russians claimed 1,000, but they only showed on video a half, 30 or 40 of them. But other Marines fought through the city to the steel plant where the Azov steel factory, where the Azov battalion is. And this reminds me a lot. Historical analogies are never perfect, never repeats itself, but history rhymes, of the Battle of Stalingrad in 1942-43. And I think a lot of people have been saying for weeks now, Mariupol is going to fall any day or this week. I'm actually not so sure, because Zelensky's made some statements that lead me to believe that Ukraine hasn't yet given up on relieving the siege. And you talked about some possible troop movements south. And a factory that's being defended by guys like the Azov, who are not willing to surrender, and the Marines who've apparently in the Marines, there were some soldiers who decided to fight their way out. Some decided to try to escape and got captured towards friendly lines up in Zaporozhye. There was a very interesting video between the Azov battalion commander and the Marine, one of the Marine battalion commanders, talking about, listen, we're not surrendering. We broke through. We're going to fight together. And it seems like they're getting resupplied somehow, either capturing ammunition from killed soldiers, but also there's been some rumors of covert special operation resupplies. And I think even a week and a half ago, there was a helicopter shot down that apparently had some deputy commander for Azov. I'm not so sure Mariupol will fall, given the performance of the Russian troops. And I'm also not so sure it won't be relieved, or at least there'll be an attempt to relieve it. What are your thoughts, Glenn and Dave, on that?
It's really difficult because, I mean, you saw the comments during the week from both Azov and from the Marines saying that there'd been no contact, and there was a lot of clear political unhappiness about the fact that the politicians have been sort of put on the spot about this, and that the supreme commander had not been doing his job was the suggestion, and you heard that the chief of defense Zelensky actually sort of came out and saying we're doing our best, we're doing everything we can, which was obviously to draw a line under it and try and cut the criticism away from Zelensky. But it is quite clear from just the number of comments coming out from there, because these guys are actually they're on social media a lot, because Elon Musk has arranged it so that they can get on social media. So they are actually speaking every day to family and friends. That is, those that are alive. So there's a lot of unhappiness from them that they're not being supported, that there hasn't been an attempt that there hasn't been an attempt we know about to actually to try and relieve them. Now, your point about some things getting in, that is what I've heard. I mean, in some equipment, but okay. So it is where it is. They can fight, like you say. I mean, they're not about to give in, but they can only fight if they've got ammunition. And there's no fighting. And if ammunition runs out, then that's it. I don't care who they are, Azov or anybody. You've got to have ammunition to be able to fight. But I'm absolutely sure that this lot will fight to the last round of ammunition. And even with the last round, they'll go out and try and hunt for some more, because that's the way that they are. So your comment about whether it will fall, I mean, we just can't judge this. I mean, this is the sort of thing where you wake up in the morning and it's fallen, or you wake up in the morning and they're still going. I mean, you and I, neither of us know how much ammunition they've got. The good bit about that is probably nor do the Russians, and therefore, you know, if the Russians don't know, they're always going to be slightly more hesitant about a major attack than if they think that the guys are literally down on their last bullets. It's a good question about relief for Mariupol. It's a good question whether the general staff will feel that saving Mariupol is a greater priority than blocking the possible link up round the back of Donbass, or having a reserve if Donbass gets fractured. So these are big decisions for the general staff, and I don't envy them. The only thing that I would say that in my mind, that if they relieve Mariupol, then I think the game is up for the Russians.